Welcome back to Book Summaries channel. If you're tired of being told that you should work for 40 years and save your pennies to retire rich at 65, then today's video is your wake-up call. Today we are diving into The Millionaire Fastlane by DeMarco, a book that ruthlessly deconstructs traditional wealth advice and provides a roadmap to creating extraordinary wealth while you're still young enough to enjoy it. DeMarco opens the book by challenging this Slowlane mentality that dominates mainstream financial advice. He argues that the traditional path of go to school, get a good job, and invest in the stock market for 40 years is a risky gamble on your health and time. This chapter introduces the idea that wealth is not just about a bank balance, but about the freedom to live life on your terms. DeMarco shares his personal journey of frustration with mediocrity and his realization that the get-rich-slow strategy is fundamentally flawed. He explains that most people are sold a bill of goods that trades their best years for a possibility of a comfortable old age. The author emphasizes that true wealth consists of three pillars: family, fitness, and freedom. By understanding that time is the ultimate asset, readers are encouraged to stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like a producer. This sets the stage for a radical shift in how we perceive financial success. It's about rejecting the narrative that wealth is a result of luck or a long career. Instead, he presents wealth as a formula that can be accelerated through the right system. This chapter describes the Sidewalk roadmap, which is the path taken by those who live for today at the expense of tomorrow. Sidewalkers have no financial plan and are often just one paycheck away from disaster, regardless of their income level. DeMarco explains that even high-earning professionals can be on the sidewalk if they spend everything they make on status symbols. The lifestyle of a sidewalker is characterized by instant gratification and a lack of financial discipline. They believe that wealth is a result of an event, like winning the lottery, rather than a process of value creation. This roadmap leads to a life of stress, servitude, and eventual poverty because it ignores the reality of math and time. DeMarco highlights that the sidewalk is the most common path because it requires the least amount of resistance and effort. By chasing lifestyle instead of freedom, sidewalkers become slaves to their debts and their employers. To move away from the sidewalk, one must change their mindset about money and take responsibility for their financial future. The author warns that without a shift in core beliefs, no amount of money will ever be enough. The Slowlane is the most respected roadmap in society, involving a steady job, 401ks, and frugal living. DeMarco critiqued this path as wealth in a grave because it relies on uncontrollable variables like the stock market and your own longevity. He argues that the Slowlane trades 5 days of servitude for 2 days of freedom every weekend. The fundamental flaw of the Slowlane is that its primary variables, time and job salary, are limited and cannot be scaled. You only have 24 hours in a day, and your boss decides how much your time is worth, which caps your potential. DeMarco points out that Get Rich Slow is a plan that requires you to stay alive for 4 decades to see the results. It forces you to settle for mediocrity and live a life of reasonable expectations rather than extraordinary dreams. The author explains that even if the plan works, you will be too old to enjoy the activities that require youth and vitality. He urges readers to realize that the Slowlane is a trap designed to benefit the institutions that sell it. True financial security doesn't come from a job, but from owning the system that pays you. The Fastlane is a business and lifestyle strategy that decouples time from income through the use of systems. In this chapter, DeMarco explains that wealth is created by solving problems for millions of people rather than working for an hourly wage. The Fastlane is about being a producer instead of a consumer and building an asset that can eventually run without your daily involvement. This roadmap emphasizes leverage and scalability, allowing for massive wealth accumulation in a short period. Fastlaners focus on controlling their financial variables rather than leaving them to the whims of a boss or a market. The author explains that the fast lane is not a get-rich-quick scheme, but a get-rich-fast process that involves hard work and dedication. It requires a shift from a me focus to a market focus, identifying needs that are currently unmet. By creating a business that serves a large audience, you tap into the power of exponential growth. DeMarco introduces the idea of money trees, which are business systems that survive and grow on their own. This chapter serves as the bridge from theoretical mindset to practical execution. DeMarco introduces the SENSE framework, which stands for control, entry, need, time, and scale. These are the 5 commandments that determine if a business has fast-lane potential. The commandment of control states that you must own and control every aspect of your business system to avoid being vulnerable to others. The commandment of entry suggests that the higher the barriers to entry, the better the opportunity. If anyone can do it, there is no profit. The commandment of need is the most important, asserting that businesses must solve problems or provide value to succeed. The commandment of time requires that the business eventually be able to operate independently of your personal labor. Finally, the commandment of scale dictates that the business must have the potential to reach millions of people to generate significant wealth. DeMarco explains that if a business violates these commandments, it is likely just another job rather than a fast-lane vehicle. By applying these filters, entrepreneurs can avoid dead-end ventures and focus on high-impact opportunities. This framework provides a rigorous checklist for evaluating any potential business idea. This chapter focuses on the execution phase of the fast lane, where the focus shifts from the idea to the action. DeMarco argues that ideas are worthless and that execution is everything in the world of business. He introduces the concept of the chessboard, where you must think several moves ahead to maintain your competitive advantage. The author discusses the importance of speed and how to accelerate your business growth through marketing and customer feedback. He highlights that complaints are the best source of innovation because they reveal exactly where the market is underserved. DeMarco also stresses the need for frugal living during the building phase, but for a different reason than the slow lane. In the fast lane, you save money to reinvest into your business system rather than to hope for interest. He encourages readers to build a brand rather than just a business, as brands carry much higher value and trust. Acceleration is about refining your process and scaling your impact as quickly as possible. This stage is where the money tree starts to grow its first branches. In the final chapters, DeMarco discusses how to manage wealth once it has been achieved through the fast lane. He emphasizes that the goal of wealth is to buy back your time and achieve ultimate freedom. The author warns against lifestyle creep, where increased income simply leads to more expensive sidewalker habits. He explains how to transition from a producer of a business system to an investor in financial systems that preserve wealth. DeMarco encourages readers to define their money target based on the lifestyle they actually want to live. He provides advice on how to handle the psychological aspects of sudden wealth and the importance of continued learning. The book concludes with a powerful reminder that you are the architect of your own destiny. DeMarco urges the reader to stop being a passenger in someone else's vehicle and to start driving their own fast-lane car. He highlights that the road is difficult, but the destination, total freedom, is worth every sacrifice. This chapter serves as a motivational call to action to implement the strategies discussed throughout the book.